Bakery-style meringues look really impressive but are deceptively simple to make. I'm going to be making a raspberry and a chocolate version. Now the first step in making these meringues is to heat up the caster sugar. Sprinkle that onto a tray. Just going to break up any big lumps using a spoon. By heating up the sugar, make sure your meringues will be a lot more solid in the middle. I'm going to pop this into the oven for about 5 minutes until the sugar just starts to melt around the edges. So whilst my sugar is melting slightly in the oven, I'm going to start whisking the egg whites in a stand mixer. You can use a hand mixer instead, but it has to be electric, and make sure everything's really clean so it whips up really nicely. Whisk this on a medium speed until it starts to foam. Then turn it up until you get to nice stiff peaks. So I've got the egg whites to a nice firm peak, which is exactly what you need before you add in the sugar. My sugar's been in for 5 minutes, so it should be ready to come out. It's just gently melted around the edges. I'm just going to use a large tablespoon. Let's take a big spoonful, careful because it's hot. Pop it in. So you don't want to add the next spoonful of sugar until the previous one has been fully incorporated. Using hot sugar to make a meringue is a great alternative to making an Italian meringue or a Swiss meringue using a hot sugar syrup. It's a lot simpler, but it does exactly the same job. It should make the meringue a lot more stable. You need to leave this to whisk for about 8 to 10 minutes until it's really light and fluffy. So I'm going to divide my mixture in two and spoon half of it into a large bowl. Start by making the chocolate meringue by using cocoa powder. Sprinkle it over the top of the meringue. And then use a spatula to gently fold the cocoa powder through. But you don't want to mix it in too much because you want to still be able to see the meringue and the cocoa together. So I'm going to use a tablespoon to spoon big dollops onto a baking tray. You can use a tiny bit of meringue just to stick the edges down so that the paper doesn't move around whilst you make your meringues. You should get about 4 per tray. And for the raspberry meringues, sprinkle over some freeze-dried raspberries and mix them through. And then do exactly the same as the chocolate mixture, spooning large spoonfuls onto a baking tray. So lovely and light. I'm just going to finish them off by sprinkling a little bit of raspberry over the top of the meringues. And then these are going to go into the oven to bake at 100 degrees for about 2 hours. When the meringues are ready, remove them from the oven and allow to cool completely on the tray before drizzling the chocolate meringues with melted chocolate, enjoying with a big dollop of clotted cream or on their own with a cup of tea.